uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition, your happy
Hump Day
edition of the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And how do we start off this show on a Wednesday night as your Tampa Bay Rays stay undefeated, 6-0? How about those Tampa Bay Rays? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy in the building talking about what else? The Tampa Bay Rays and their win today over the Washington Nationals 7-2. Are you impressed? I know, I get it. Let's get it out of the way. It's early yet. I'm getting too excited, but baseball is back, right? Record-breaking baseball. In fact, just doing some research, because, you know, that's what you got to do before a show. You got to do some homework. Sometimes I don't even do that. This is the longest streak of wins by 4 or more runs to start a season since the 1884 St. Louis Maroons, who did it 13 times. 1884! I know what a lot of you are saying. What a maroon right now, because he's talking about the Rays 6-0. Of course, they faced the Athletics, but the offense is on fire. This team is on fire, and their pitching is on fire. So we'll definitely talk about your Tampa Bay Rays tonight. We're also getting to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as we always do on this show on the Sports Web, the evolution of sports talk television, as they signed a new safety yesterday. What's the lowdown on that? Some rumors about Mac Jones and other quarterbacks, some draft visits, mock draft, as we're less than a month away until the NFL draft. You got to love that, right? And then WrestleMania 39. That's right. Turnbuckle Talk is back tonight with the madman himself, former XPW announcer, Mr. Mark Mancini, talking about WrestleMania 39. What did you guys think? I was a little bit disappointed with the final result of night 2. You know what I'm talking about, right? As Roman Reigns is still the undisputed Universal Champion.
Acknowledge me!
So we'll get into that with him, of course, of Sirius XM Radio, former XPW announcer of Mancini Media, Mark Mancini, and then, of course, the bodyguard of the Berg, Mr. Ralph Williams. And, of course, your phone calls, as always, because I can sit here and talk all night long and expound on everything, but I definitely like to hear from you. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get in, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528, as we are live on the Sports Web, on YouTube, on I Love St. Pete, on the Hub, and on Amped Up Sports. So without further ado, let's go ahead, get this man's intro on, as I found this laying around somewhere. Here we go. Enough of that, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. How you doing tonight, my friend? You're 6-0 Tampa Bay Rays.
I'm great, and that's a jam right there. I'm telling you what. Thanks for that walk-up music. If you remember back when you were on the tan and you were doing the best sports show happening on Saturdays on FM radio in St. Petersburg or Tampa Bay, I had 2 songs that were walk-ups. I forget them now too, Pete, but hey, I'll take that song any day of the week. 6-0. Just not doing it Rays style. You got to love it. I mean, where do you start? Where do you even start with this 2023 Rays team?
Well, I tell you right now, we're definitely going to start here. We're going to get this guy on, the legend himself. I mean, you can start with the pitching and the hitting, but you got to start with the legend. So let's go ahead and get his walk-up music on. Here we go. Former Coach Scott and now media member of Amped Up Sports Night Sports Productions, Mr. Leo Haggerty in the building with that camera shot there. Love that, Leo. Welcome to the Sports Web here live on I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports in the Hub. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing fine, Peter, but before we start talking about other things, I think we need to talk about March Madness in the Final Four.
Absolutely. I didn't even get a chance to that. Congratulations to the Yukon Huskies for being your men's national champion and the ladies showing out there, the LSU Tigers being the women's national champion. But go ahead, my friend. You're a basketball aficionado here on the Sports Web, so go ahead. Let us have it.
You know, guys, and I don't know if you'd agree with this, and people are going to call me a narcissist, a misogynist, and a sexist, but I have never seen a tournament where the officiating has been so bad. And the women's Final Four, those 3 games, some idiot decided to have an all-female crew for all 3 games, and it was a tragic, epic fail. It was terrible. I posted on the first night with LSU and Iowa winning how bad the officiating was. I never thought I'd see it. The finals was worse. And how you can tell, Peter and Ray, is when the referee blows the whistle and the 10 players on the floor look around like, what are you calling?
Yeah.
That was almost the whole second half. So kudos to LSU. Kudos to UConn. I was hoping my buddy Brian Dutcher could pull San Diego State into that final and win. And they had a hell of a run. But you know what? UConn's a good team. LSU's a good team. And by the way, last thing, memo to Dr. Jill Biden. Jill, you don't invite the losers to the White House. You invite winners.
You definitely don't do that at all. And of course, some controversy. We're not going to really get into that, but controversy with You Can't See Me. And then Caitlin Clark basically smashed that whole narrative saying, Angel Reese had an opportunity or should have been able to talk trash. Not a big deal, as everybody was making a big deal about it.
Ridiculous.
Yes, it is
ridiculous. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And, these ladies, 9.9 million viewers for the finals on Sunday, highest in the history, and you love it. And the game's going. I honestly think that Kobe's looking down from above going, yeah, I was trying to work to make that happen. And I think this is part of his legacy. And I think that you're going to make that a story between Reese and Clark. And it's like, well, they're going to do narrative for next year. Okay, I'm in, I'm buying 100%. Love the numbers on that. But then Jill Biden invites them. It's almost like I felt like she was inviting them, Leo, to go. Like somebody got in her ear and said, hey, there were 9.9 million viewers, most ever. And there's a thing between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And she's like, let's invite him to the White House and run it up. I don't think it was done as an off-putting thing, but I think it was definitely not well thought out.
No, not at all. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you saw Caitlin Clark's, one of her latest tweets out.
Yeah.
Somebody asked her if she was going to the WNBA. She said, why would I go to the WNBA when the highest salary is like $520,000? When I'll make them at least $1 million next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the first name, image, and likeness argument, Leo. I've understood, and we've talked about this, the players and the need to get paid and compensated. But that's the first time I've thought about it from the standpoint of It is so right. This is such a great thing for players like Caitlin Clark. And I'm looking forward to Iowa next year. And give me Iowa and LSU at every tournament, and I'm buying 7 days a week and twice on game day.
Only
Absolutely.
if Kim Mulkey decides to wear some of those outlandish outfits, right?
I'm telling you that definitely the outfits were outlandish, but she is the champion.
Peter,
Congratulations.
real quick.
Yes.
I got a Kim Mulkey story. When they played here in Tampa, I asked her after she beat Oregon, they didn't shoot a three. Everything went inside. And I said, hey, coach, that's old school basketball. She said, yeah, it was. When they won the final against Notre Dame, she was done her questions and she looked at us and said, hey, is old school here? I said, yeah, I'm here. She said, next year we'll be shooting the three. We got some shooters coming. I thought that was hysterical.
It was definitely hysterical at the end of the day. I don't know what happened to Tampa Bay Ray there, but he's out on the scene. You're on the Sports Web. Let's get into these Tampa Bay Rays here, 6-0. And I read this statistic of the longest streak of wins, 4 or more runs to start a season since 1884.
Wow.
Ray, I'm going to come out to you, and then we'll go out to Leo here. I mean, your overall thoughts. Today, Shane McClanahan didn't necessarily have his best stuff, if you will. In fact, career-high 4 walks, but continues to get it done, and this offense continues to get it done.
Yeah, and yesterday Josh Fleming, the number 5 pitcher by default because of Tyler Glasnow, still with the abdominal deal. But they saw Rasmussen the day before. They knew they were going to see Sugar Shane McClanahan again today. They beat up on Josh Fleming early yesterday. The Rays show resiliency and fight back into that game with that offensive output. And then today, Sugar Shane couldn't get that first pitch over the plate for a strike to save himself. But the team rallied behind him. So, I mean, as much as we can say, because we know there's going to be losing streaks, we know there's going to be winning streaks, but right now, this Rays team, Kevin Cash, he's pulling all the right strings, and they're doing all the right things.
Absolutely doing all the right things at the end of the day. I mean, your thoughts, I get it's early. Everybody's going to say it's early. They're 6-0, but, coming out of it, 44 runs scored, only allowing 13. I mean, that's pretty impressive at the end of the day, Leo.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I'd rather be 6-0 than 0-6. I don't care if there is 156 games left, but I'm going to quote Joe Madden on this, guys. I asked Joe Madden, I said, Coach, how much of the game is pitching? He said 90%. I said, what's the other 10%? He said pitching. And again, look at what the Rays are doing. They've got pitching, and when Tyler Glasnow gets back, just think of how dominant this pitching staff's going to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're exactly right about that. The other stories, I think, of the offense is Wander Franco. I mean, the guy's healthy, knock on wood. I mean, another home run today. He's got 2. And it certainly seems like not only is he healthy, but he's the reason why, Ray, you pay him all that money in the first place. You extend him because he is such a dynamic player, and it seems like he's locked in. And he was locked in today with that home run.
Brother, it's not just that, but also people in the offseason are like, well, who's this Zach Eflin guy? Your kid from Orlando with the Phillies organization. They give him the Rays, give him the biggest contract in the history of this organization for a free agent to come in here. And now you're looking at him with McClanahan with the Glasnow back and Eflin to Jeffrey Springs, and then Rasmussen, your number 5. And Leo, you talked about it. They got a lot of bones to make, but this pitching rotation really has the chance to be something so special. And the offense almost feels like icing on the cake.
Just stay healthy, right, guys? That's the key.
That's it. Absolutely stay healthy. All right, guys, we've been talking a little bit about the Rays. I want to definitely get some thoughts from you Rays fans out there. Are you excited about this start? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Give me your thoughts on the Rays. I'll tell you what, let's talk about the full baseball season. I mean, we had a violation today. It hasn't happened as much. I mean, do you like the flow of this game, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy? Because I wasn't necessarily buying the new rules and the pitch clock and all this other stuff, but I'm kind of buying it.
I know you are. You have to be.
Because the average is up. You're seeing faster games here, more flow to it. I mean, give me your thoughts on these new rules once again.
And we see Machado out there with the San Diego Padres yesterday, and we want to. Oh, so that's the biggest thing, right? That, and there's been a couple of, the first pitch strike on a batter because the runner that tried to steal second didn't get back to first base, and so we see this, and we see the Machado thing get legs and try to run, and even the players are saying, no, we're good. And I love the fact that I asked my father-in-law, Pat, and he's in the car today picking up my kids, believe it or not, at school, and I said, Pat, how's it sound on the radio? I already knew the answer before I asked the question, Leo, and he goes, it's just smooth. It's like pitch, catch, strike, ball, pitch, catch, strike, ball. And then today I watched a film from the Yankees back in 2014, and there was a 5-minute YouTube video, and the guy spent 20 minutes adjusting his gloves. And Peter, that's why when the purist in everybody says don't touch baseball, and it's the national pastime, and baseball is and always will be. But I think we're finding out that even the players, the coaches, and fans are buying into this flow of these games.
You know what, Ray? I got to agree with you. Up until this year, baseball was the national pastime. It was past time. It was done. They had to do something, because if you went to a Yankees Boston game, you might as well get a room, because it's going to be a 5-hour debacle, win, lose, or draw. So this is forcing teams to play. I'm not a big proponent of the shift being disallowed. If you want to put 3 guys over there, great. Because when I grew up, you did that, Willie Mays would hit it to right field. Roberto Clemente would hit it to right field. Hank Aaron would hit it to right field. You just couldn't do that. But again, what that's going to do is you're going to see runs come up, because you can't put 3 guys there. And I'll tell you another rule that people don't realize. You can't put that infielder back on the outfield grass. He's got to be on the dirt. That's huge.
That is absolutely huge. And just to give you some numbers here, we're on with the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports, and of course, Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here on the Sports Web. Thanks largely to that pitch timer, guys. The average time of the game is down 2.38 per 9 innings this season. It was 3:03 last season, so 3 hours and 3 minutes. Now it's 2 hours and 38 minutes. And that's the lowest since 1984, which was 2:35, 15 seconds with bases empty, 20 seconds with runners on. So it's definitely making a difference. Any other thoughts here, Tampa Bay Ray, on baseball before we switch gears and go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Oh, we got to go to the Bucs. Okay, we got to go to the Bucs. Okay, no, just the fact that the Rays are, and Leo, you talked about the no shifts, and we've seen them, push that, that shortstop literally at the base, but just right of it, and they've got the second baseman's cheated way over, and he's got his, the back of his cleats, or I'm sorry, are right there on the grass. But yeah, I mean, they did that in a bit bigger bases to make run producing, to make stealing bases a bigger deal. And guys, bury the lead. The Rays have the 3rd youngest team in the entire Major League Baseball, and it's also one of the fastest. And it plays right into Kevin Cash's hands. So we always talk about that the little league market team, with the smallest payroll or one of the smaller payrolls against the big Goliaths, and bury the lead. At the end of the day, it's just coming down to talent. These Rays have Eric Neanders doing a job. Kevin Cash is doing a job as manager. This Rays organization continues to put good players in great positions. Now, there are going to be slumps. There are going to be setbacks. It happens. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But right now, the going is good.
The going is good. I tell you right now, Leo, I love Randy Arozarena, and it certainly seems like his play is carried over from the World Baseball Classic there, because not only does he make a play in the first inning to basically stop runs from scoring, but he legs out a single today, gets the first base. They review it, overturn it because they called him out at first, and then makes a great slide at home. Talk about Arozarena.
Peter, when you don't have to say anything about a player, that speaks volumes. Randy Arozarena is the heart and soul of this baseball team. Yeah, you got Diaz, you got Franco, but if you notice, they're all Hispanic players. They've got company. It's not like there's one of them and they feel like an outcast. There's a handful of them. They can stay together. They can commiserate with each other when needed. They can pick each other up. That's huge. That is really huge.
Yeah,
the Rays have done a great job of setting their roster for the long term.
Wow.
Agree, absolutely. And I think the big moment of the day, and then we'll go to the Bucs here. McClanahan in 4 walks, of course, he had, but 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, allowed 4 straight hits to start the 4th, and gets out of it. Again, not his best stuff, but I tell you right now, that guy's fastball is one of the best in Major League Baseball, period. I mean, he's right up there at 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
Has to forget it. You're not going to hit it, whether he's all over the plate or not. If you have that equalizer and you have all those pitches not necessarily working, but you have that fastball and you're able to locate that fastball and throw it miles an hour, nobody's hitting that.
Well, Pete, don't forget, now the Rays come home now. They have a day off tomorrow. They come home for a 13-game homestand, starting with the Oakland A's this Friday into a weekend series. And now you got Zach Eflin coming back up. And Zach Eflin, again, the free agent kid that came in, did nothing but shut the lights down last week. And you got Jeffrey Springs behind him. They could see a McClanahan. The Rays of past years, maybe some of those years the Rays were scratching, and we're going to be scratching because, G-Man Choi is not at first base. There's going to be a game that we're going to lose because of a defensive play at first base. It's going to happen. Right now, everything's going right. This team, everything's going right for them. And we're not silly enough to think, guys, that, there's not going to be things that go wrong. But the fact of the matter is, McClanahan can struggle today finding that first pitch strike and getting behind an account. But now you got Zach Eflin stepping in. And even if Zach Eflin has a stub and maybe has to rely on his team's offense to score and defense to play defense, now you got behind him, So what I'm saying is that the rotation is where it's at. Major League Baseball, all the periodicals coming into this year said the Rays were a team to watch out for, and this is exactly the reason why. This pitching rotation the Rays have is sick.
It is sick, and speaking of Zach Eflin, he is coming home to twin girls, Austin Renee and Haley Lane, born March 23rd in Orlando at 34 weeks, so he's happy to come home. He was looking to come home on the road trip, but decided to stay behind, so good for him. Congratulations to him. And, of course, big-time free agent Leo, 3 years, $40 million, and definitely earned every penny of that the way he pitched his first time out versus the Tigers. Let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Confirmed by Rick Stroud, the Bucs are signing Seahawks safety Ryan Neal to a 1-year deal. Seattle rescinded their $2.627 million 1-year tender to Neal as a restricted free agent after signing Giants safety Julian Love. Neal played 43 games with 19 starts since 2020 for Seattle. 27 years old, and according to our friend here, Mr. JCA, who has some great comments about him if I can find them, he says he's a do-it-all DB aligning at multiple spots. He totaled 330 snaps in the box, 227 at free safety, 102 in the slot. He finished with 66 tackles, a sack, an interception, 6 pass breakups, and also plays special teams. He was Pro Football Focus's top safety in 2022. So with that move yesterday, does that take them out of the chase for, say, a branch from Alabama at 19, or could they still go with the safety there at 19? What are your thoughts on Mr. Neal signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Leo?
You know what, Peter? What it does is it tells Jason Light, hello, now you can take the best available player. Because that's what they need to look at. I still think, Peter, it's going to be an offensive lineman. Just because, think about this. If you move Tristan Wirfs to left tackle, okay, you got a new right tackle.
Right.
If you keep him there, you got a new left tackle.
Sure. You
got a brand new offensive coordinator. I don't think you want to be messing around and not have enough really good linemen. And, we look at these guys, and it's an adequate line, but it's not a great line right now.
Right.
Just because it's it's in transition, it's in flux. And what the Bucs are hoping for is a metamorphosis. Where
listen
some
to you.
of these guys get
Leo
a lot
word.
better.
Leo word.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And we know they're back in a lot of question marks there. And they also don't want Antoine Winfield Ray to play that slot. And this may be the opportunity to get Neal to do that because he's done that. He wants him to play that would be Todd Bowles, Winfield Jr. to play his natural position.
Yes.
So a very good, a shrewd pickup, which is what this front office has done in the offseason, right, Tampa Bay Ray?
Yeah, the Antoine Winfield experiment didn't pan out in 2022 like I think we thought. And let's move that cat back to where he's free safe. Let's move him back to his natural position. And here's the thing, guys. I tried to. I got not an argument, but I got a big supporter. Families, big alumni of USF, and I was trying to convince them between what Miami and FAU did, Leo, and the championships this year. Florida's got this thing going on, and in a town like Tampa Bay with a great baseball team, a great hockey team bury the lead, and also a great football team, what that can mean for recruiting on a USF campus and bringing players like, hey, come in here, basketball, come in here, ladies. Well, actually, USF Lady Bulls are actually pretty darn good as it is, but football as well. And wait, Peter, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Well, the question is, once again, another shrewd move by
Yes.
Jason Light in this front office. I mean, it really is.
No, I'm sorry. So he's selling it to other teams. You got a player like Neil, and you're like, hey, guess what? We got going on here. We still got Devin White, Vita Vea. We just brought in Gage, Vea. Now we got Joe Tryon, Chyanka, 3 Huskies. Now we got, Shaq Barrett coming back. Why don't you come here and ball out? You're going to get your contract. You're going to get money. You're going to learn to play in this Buccaneers defense, and then bury lead at the end of the day. You do well, continue walking up that ladder, or stick around with us for a few years. I think Jason Light just continues to do what Jason Light does, and that is be the best general manager in the entire National Football League.
I tell you right now, you look at the salary cap situation to get Pro Football Focus's top safety is pretty impressive at the end of the day. No telling how much they got him for, but most likely it's not a major big-time cap hit with all the dead money they have on the cap this year. With that being said, according to NFL insider Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, there is some disconnect between the Patriots, Bill Belichick, and Mac Jones. In fact, he said that Belichick has shopped his starting quarterback to multiple teams during the 2023 NFL offseason, and that includes the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Check this out. Las Vegas Raiders, Texans, and Washington Commanders. What do you think about this whole situation? Because not only does it seem like there's some disconnect with Jones and Belichick, but also, once again, disconnect between Kraft and Belichick. And we've seen this in the past before with Belichick wanting to trade a Tom Brady and basically Kraft stepping in and saying no. And then eventually Belichick traded Jimmy Garoppolo to the 49ers for a second-round pick. So what do we make of this rumor with Mac Jones possibly going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or other teams?
Rumor with a capital R.
Okay.
Who's plan B? I mean, somebody starts a rumor saying, well, Mac Jones and Bill Belichick aren't get along, so Bill Belichick wants to get rid of him. Who's plan B? You can't go in playing Buffalo, who's going to be really good, Miami, who's going to be better, and Jets, Aaron Rodgers does go to the Jets. You're the 4th team in the division.
Yeah.
So unless you want to blow it up and start anew, I think this is a rumor, and it's never going to happen.
Is that part of the Belichick mystique, though? The way the evil witch doctor, without Giselle is this witch, but because Billy Zappi last year, he comes in, but I mean, just like with the 49ers and Trey Lance and Brock Purdy and Mr. Irrelevant in 2023, I'm like, 2022. What do these coaches see? I think that Bill Belichick looks at a Zappi, and I get it. There was once or twice where Mac Jones was like, WTF with this whole Matt Patricia, offensive coordinator thing. What's going on here? He didn't question it outright, but he basically, kind of bowed up his back, and Belichick might kick him to the side and say, Billy Zappi's my guy. Is that what Belichick did for all those years that he had to go to quarterback? If you weren't on the Patriot way, you were gone, and that continues to help him moving forward. I don't know if that works in today's NFL.
Well, I think the reason why Belichick is so upset with Jones and possibly, again, this rumor putting him out there for trade is the fact that Jones went behind his back for outside help. But that's what you do, guys, when you have a defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, and you put him as an offensive coordinator. That makes no sense. On top of it, you haven't gotten Jones any weapons. You look at his regression in 2021, 22-13. In 2022, 14 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 36-24. Young quarterback. He may end up with the Raiders. The Raiders still don't have somebody, although they have Garoppolo, but they don't have a young option, and they may want one in the draft, but why not go with the Mac Jones? In fact, this is what Robert Kraft had to say about Mac. I'm a big fan of him. He came to us as a rookie. He quarterbacked in his rookie season, did a very fine job. I thought we made the playoffs. I think we experimented with some things last year that frankly didn't work, and it came to him that frankly didn't work when it came to him, in my opinion. That basically is telling you everything you need to know. Your owner is saying, look, our coach had the offensive coordinator who's not an offensive coordinator. He's a defensive coordinator, and he's not even a great defensive
It
coordinator.
sounds like a really bad soap opera. It really does.
As the world turns, if you guys know old soap operas, I don't know why I knew that. I have lots of sisters. Don't judge me. With that being said, that rumor's been put out there. Hendon Hooker to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there's a lot of scouts right now. Scouts buzz. Leo, 25 years old. He's coming off an injury. But what do you see with Hooker and a guy that could probably give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers maybe a little bit of an inside track is the new coach of USF, Alex Golish. What do you see with Hooker? And if he's there at 19, do you think the Bucs have to consider taking him? Or is that a way where you can move down and get a team to give you a first-round pick next year?
You know what, Peter? You look at your board, you see what's there. I don't think Hendon Hooker is going to be there at 19.
Wow.
Wow.
If he had a good pro day in terms of mobility, the kid was a Heisman Trophy winner. He took Tennessee to the brink and then gets hurt. If he's healthy, he may be the best quarterback out there.
Guys, he played SEC competition, and you look at his numbers in the 2 years that he started for the Tennessee Volunteers under Josh Heupel and, of course, Golish there. 68 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. If it wasn't for the ACL injury, we may be talking about him being a quarterback that's in the same conversation as a C.J. Stroud and a Bryce Young.
Wow. No, I go ahead, Leo. I'm sorry.
I think if he's healthy, he's number 2. I think it's 1 and 1A with Stroud and Hendon Hooker. But again, I'm scared of a guy 5'10" going to play NFL quarterback. That's scary to me.
Well, and that's the thing with Bryce Young, and then that's the reason why most likely he's not going to go number 1, and it remains to be seen if he's going to go at number 2. You look at Hooker, besides the injury, 6'4", 218. He's got all the measurables, definitely has all the statistics. Let me ask you, Tampa Bay Ray, would you hate the fact of the Bucs going out and drafting a Hooker at 19, or should the Bucs answer that phone call if he's still on the board to possibly trade out and get a number 1 pick next year?
No, if he's still on the board, there's got to be, and Leo, I think you're right. Hooker, I think he's a great quarterback. He's still on the board at 19, there's at least 2 teams behind the Bucs that are looking to make a call to move up into that spot. I think that we possibly move up. I think Jason Light works some magic to move up and secure an interior offensive lineman, maybe a Gator, or to secure another offensive lineman to continue to build that depth. Because I think, Leo, we all know where the bread is buttered. It's on the offense and defensive line, or if you're on this Buccaneers 3-4 defense, it's on the outside linebacker and interior defensive lineman. But at the end of the day, to bring him in here with Canales trying to put an offense together, and the kid can't even get on the field. So you're literally telling him while you're learning a new offense, and you got Baker and hopefully Kyle Trask going, at each other for it, that you got a guy that's up in their ivory tower with a hurt knee that may come out and take the job from both of you in 6 months. It defeats the purpose.
Yeah, and I tell you right now, Baker Mayfield, speaking of Baker, he had some comments there. Great transition, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy told Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated, I finally had some time to think, and I think that's the key word. And yeah, just looking at it from a big picture standpoint, I want to play this game for a long time. So where's the next spot? They're going to be the most stable position. Where can I come in and compete and do the best I can to showcase what I'm capable of? This is a great opportunity to do so. Normally, when a spot like this opens up, it's because bad things have happened. But this one, it's just because Tom Brady retired. So it's a perfect opportunity for me. Your thoughts on Baker Mayfield saying, look, he turned on the Ravens, and he's saying the Bucs, and a lot of people saying maybe this is a Titanic, maybe this is a team that's going to be really bad this year. He's saying it's a perfect opportunity for him. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you can throw to Evans and Godwin, that's a perfect opportunity. Again, Peter, what scares me is Vegas is they're not wrong too often.
Right.
If they think this is a 6-17 win team, that's scaring me because they are probably thinking that New Orleans, Carolina, and Atlanta are going to be improved so much, and that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and a lot of question marks on not only this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, but the other divisional opponents, namely the Carolina Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons, and of course the thorn in the side of the Bucs, the New Orleans Saints. What do you think about Baker's comments, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy?
Well, again, let's work it back to the contract. It's $4 million with a $4 million kicker if the guy hits the incentive clauses, which is great.
Kicker?
With a kicker. At the end of the day, it's an $8 million contract.
No kicker.
I can't believe it. I'm the one who brought it up tonight. But I didn't even get it. Truth of the matter is that Baker's statement, I love it because, and again, that only adds to the excitement that Buccaneers fans should feel as we go toward the draft and get to our first OTAs and get to camp here in a muggy and steamy and hot July here in Florida. But we're excited because, bring in Baker Mayfield, the former Heisman Trophy winner with a rubber band arm, and let him compete with a Kyle Trask who's been in the ivory tower himself for 2 years. And at the end of the day, the other 51 in the room are going to get better as a result of this competition, and they're going to lock down their jobs, which is the defensive side is to be one of the top 5 defenses in the National Football League. I don't know if y'all heard this. Todd Bowles has got a reputation of doing this. And on the offensive side, we've still got a lot of veteran pieces. The 6 or 7 wins, I think that's Vegas' way of trying to tease money out because I see this Buccaneers team no less than 8 to 9 victories in 2023.
All right, so we shall see. Now, another position of need, and this is in care of Joe Bucs fan. Jason Light was talking about the running back room, and he says, I think it's a good running back draft. I think that has a little to do with just more and more teams. I don't want to speak on behalf of us, but there's just more and more teams now that don't believe in paying running backs. So we really like our group. We like Rashard White. He's going to be a stud. We really like Keyshawn Vaughn. We're always like Keyshawn. I know he's been with us for 3 years, but he really hasn't gotten the opportunities. When he has, he's done some good things. And we got Chase Edmonds signed in free agency. I'm not saying we're done there, but we like the room we got. A lot of people mention this because it's a certain possibility at 19. Bijan Robinson out of Texas at 19, Leo Haggerty. Is that a possibility with you establishing that run game? Even though Jason Light says he likes this room, could a dynamic running back like Robinson at 19 be a good pick for this team, in your opinion?
As Jack Lord would say in Hawaii 5-0, book it, Dano.
Book it, Dano.
That's happening.
Wow.
I'll tell you what.
That's happening. If Bijan Robinson is there at 19, you better run to the podium.
In fact, Leo, I'll take you. Oh, I'm sorry, brother.
This is a great. That would be a great pick.
I'll take you one step further, Leo. I'll take you one step further. I think Bijan Robinson, if he's still on the board at 13, 14, 15, I think that's one of that trade up that Jason Light was looking to do to secure that franchise running back and get him on a rookie contract and just say, go tear it up, Bijan.
Well, and I tell you right now, I've been on that running back train because I wanted Dalvin Cook at 19 in 2017, and instead they drafted an O.J. Howard. So I'm not sure if I'm necessarily on that train now because you got Rashard White, you got Keyshawn Vaughn. You can get a running back in the later rounds. You still need an offensive tackle unless you're moving Tristan Wirfs to that left side. You still need a right tackle unless it's going to be Haggerty. There's other moves there you can make. Running back, to me, is not necessarily on the list of priorities, although a lot of people would say, look, you had just got rid of Leonard Fournette. You had the last rushing attack in the National Football League. So it's definitely a need. And at the end of the day, if you want to be that Seattle type of offense where you're running the ball for 4 yards a carry, then maybe you go with the Robinson. Now, guys, I'm trying to think. ESPN doesn't agree with you. In fact, they say the Bucs will trade up for quarterback from Kentucky.
Will Levis.
Will
Don't say
Levis.
it. Jesus.
Ray, I got to start out with you because you're very passionate about this. ESPN and Todd says go for Will Levis. What do you say?
If Baker or Kyle are not your guy, you're going to have a crappy 2023. Then go for Caleb Williams in the 2024. Draft. The thing is, bring in another quarterback, Canales. You're learning how to call offensive plays for the first time in this league, and we want you to develop this offense and get it on board. And we're going to give you another wild card at quarterback. So it's not just a quarterback competition. Now it's literally an embarrassment of riches.
Well, it is an embarrassment of riches. I've heard from my buddy, my tag team partner in the world, Mr. Jason Powers. Leo, he feels like he's a bust. He feels like he regressed. I mean, what do you see with Levis? He's got all the measurables. I heard from Rick Spillman talking about why doesn't this guy compete more? Why didn't he play in the Senior Bowl? Why doesn't he take advantage of it? That would be his first question. Is that a knock on Levis for not being more competitive? And what do you see with this player on film?
You know what, Peter? You put Levins on Georgia, they go undefeated again.
Wow.
He has no weapons at Kentucky. Think about this now. We're talking about a Kentucky quarterback. Kentucky used to be 2-10. Now he changed the dynamic of Kentucky. Here's what's scary. I think you're going to see 4 quarterbacks gone in the first 10 picks, and I don't think Jason Light has the draft capital to get up into the top 10. But I think so, 4
Leo,
of them are going to be gone within 10, no later than 12.
So you're saying that Will Levis is no Eric Couch?
No.
Tim Couch's brother.
Tim Couch.
Well, and there's a lot of rumors out there that the Indianapolis Colts, that's their guy, and then that would slide down Richardson. I mean, let's do the mock right now. Who do you see going number 1 to Carolina? Is it C.J. Stroud? Is that a foregone conclusion, gentlemen? Ray, I'll come out to you, and then Leo will come out to you. Ray, you start. C.J. Stroud to Carolina. Buying that or selling it?
No, I'm buying that, but I also want to buy the Lamar Jackson to Indianapolis. I think that bridge has been burnt already there in Baltimore. We know that Israel would give it. We know that's been the Achilles heel of the Colts for the last 6 or 7 years. But yeah, I'm totally keeping. I'm buying on that with C.J. Stroud number 1 overall. I heard the way that Josh McCown talked to him there when they had the pro days. Like, we're gonna play ball with you down there. We'll get a court and everything. I'm sure it went nice over there with the other quarterbacks and stuff like that. But I think CJ's number 1 overall.
C.J. Stroud, Leo, I mean, is that the best quarterback in this draft? Is that the best pick for the Carolina Panthers? Is that the reason why you give up a multitude, Leo word, of picks and, of course, a number 1 wide receiver in DJ Moore?
Not necessarily the best quarterback in the draft, but the best quarterback that fits into Carolina. Yes, he's number 1.
Okay, why do you say that? Who, in your opinion, Leo, is the best quarterback in this draft? Is it a C.J. Stroud? Is it a Bryce Young? Is it a Will Levis? Is it an Anthony Richardson? Or is it the aforementioned Hendon Hooker?
If Hendon Hooker can maneuver, if that knee is healed, he's my guy. That's the guy I'm taking.
Yeah, and he could have, guys, the same type of impact as Lamar Jackson, right? I mean, Jackson gets picked later on in the draft because of dynamic playmaker. And Ray, you mentioned it. At the end of the day, I think teams that don't necessarily get a quarterback in that top 10 will definitely be interested in giving up a first-round pick next year and the year after. You don't have to give up a first-round pick this year. You can always negotiate with Jackson and, of course, the Baltimore Ravens.
Now, if I was a Panthers fan and not a diehard Buccaneers fan, and I was, I like a story. You guys know I love a narrative. I would want to see the Panthers having traded up with the Bears and gotten all, given up all that, to see another team out there that may want their guy at quarterback. They need this guy, this franchise setter. Their coach is sure that this is Steichen is sure the way in Indianapolis that this is the guy, and then trade back a couple of spots, pick up even more capital than they gave up, the Panthers, and then go after a Richardson and make him, not just, I hate to say it like this, but show him all the Cam Newton tape and say, look, Carolina, this is the kind of ball we like out of our quarterback. And if Richardson can be that guy, that could be a win in the end too. I mean, Tepper's a weird guy. He's a billionaire. And of course, Frank Reich's probably telling him, I can work with a couple. I think that we're still going to see some, I'm not saying that's the fireworks we'll see, but I still think we're going to see some fireworks between now and or on draft day.
All right, so Stroud at number 1. Who do we got at number 2 for the Houston Texans? Did they go Bryce Young here? You talk about it, Leo, the size question. That's the big-time question mark. But you look at his accuracy. You look at his intelligence. He's able to stay healthy. A lot of scouts out there kind of wondering if he can stay healthy. Bryce Young at number 2, is that a slam dunk for the Houston Texans?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Good.
I think Houston may be the one that looks to trade down.
Wow.
Yes.
Because think about it. There's going to be, if they can go down to 5 or 6, they'll still get a quarterback.
Oh.
Because they'll be one there. I mean, when the Bucs get to 19, Richardson may be still there. That's the funny part.
I don't see that because I got a bet with Mr. Harry the Greek who's watching this show right now and steak dinner that Mr. Richardson goes top 10.
Oh, God, no, Peter. Not a chance.
I will bet you double or nothing, Leo Haggerty, that Wings, top 10. Put it down.
No.
Wait, what was it? What's the bet?
Anthony Richardson goes top 10, let alone maybe top 5.
Oh, God, no.
Oh,
There's not enough data on Richardson. He hasn't played enough. Teams don't know what they're getting. That's the biggest problem.
But I think
Richardson goes to the USFL for a season, and then we bring him back.
No, he's going to the XFL.
He's got so much potential. They've seen the pro day. They've seen the combine.
Peter, hold on. Peter, I thought I trained you.
Oh, you did. You did.
Did he, though?
You don't watch underwear football. And
I
that's
agree.
what pro days are.
Leo, you trained me right, but we all know there's teams out there that are desperate for a quarterback.
Well, desperate, but Pete, I mean, you're talking about a franchise decision. I think Richardson's one of those where they're throwing him up there for the narrative. It's so exciting, and we've seen teams, guys, buy into that narrative in the past. Maybe they were forced into it from a financial standpoint because their fan base demanded it. But as much as I look at Richardson and go, this kid is a freak and a great quarterback, the tape is so small on him. $1 billion franchise, you're going to go first in top 5 with this kid?
To that point, though, you look at Josh Allen, right? Low completion percentage, much like Richardson. That's the big-time question mark. Sub 50s for Josh Allen. You get an offensive coordinator, you get a coach out there, even a Frank Reich. And I thought when they traded up, that's where they were going to go with. They made that drastic of a trade because there are teams out there. Now, again, I think it's going to be C.J. Stroud, but I would not rule out the possibility of Richardson going top 5, top 10, and I will definitely bet you Wings, Mr. Leo Haggerty. And again, there may be a coach or there may be an offensive coordinator that says, you know what? He's got so much potential. He could be the next Lamar Jackson. He's a bigger version of Lamar Jackson. He could be the next Cam Newton. If I fix his footwork, if I fix his accuracy, I can make something out of him. We're on the legend here, Leo Haggerty.
Hey, Peter, you know what potential gets you?
I know.
Gets you fired.
Yes.
And that's the problem. You got a top 10 pick. You got to take the player you think is going to be the best for your franchise. I think he may be the 5th quarterback. I just don't think we're going to see 5 quarterbacks go in the top 10.
Wouldn't it just be a total Houston thing for them to find another team that wants to get up to number 2 and then Houston trades back and then ends up going? Well, when I say a Houston thing, I think defense. And when I think defense, I'm thinking Jalen Carter, the defensive lineman out of Alabama. I mean, we're talking about all these quarterbacks and the potential because the guy can jump, 53 inches and he has a shuttle jump of like 42 feet. But at the end of the day, you got to get a player up in there that's a blue blood. Someone's going to be a dog for you. And, there's a defensive lineman in there. There's a couple of offensive linemen that I think could be better franchise builders than taking a shot on an underseen quarterback that's got great – his ceiling's this high, but we don't know where the floor is.
Well, you got Davis.
Guys, real quick, because the left-hander's warming up behind me, so he's getting ready to come in the game.
I got you.
What's a bigger chance, Bryce Young or Richardson? Or is it the same thing?
Well, I tell you right now, Bryce Young were a couple inches taller. There would be no question. The biggest chance is Richardson.
And if your mama had balls, she'd be your dad.
This
guy. let's talk about things
Leo.
that happen.
I'm
Right.
blushing
Things
for
that have
Leo.
not happened.
But that's the biggest question mark. It's the size. It's the size and the strength, and
And
that's the
Peter, what can't you coach? Size and
Size.
speed.
That's what she said.
Well, and to Ray's point, it could be Will Anderson for Houston, but I think they go out and get a quarterback. It could be Richardson. I think it's going to be Bryce Young. 3 there at Arizona. Kyler Murray and Trent coming off an injury. They either go with Anderson or Jalen Carter or somebody like that. They could be the team that trades out because there could be a team out there who wants to get up for a Richardson or a Will Levis. What do we see the Cardinals doing there? And I know you got to run here. We'll go to 4, and then we'll get out of here. But, Leo, what do you see the Cardinals doing? Do you think they're sold? It seems like you got to be sold on Kyler Murray. He's coming off an injury. You just signed him to an extension. So you got to go defense here, right?
Peter, again, what we learned in the scouting business and what we learned about the draft is the closer to the ball, that's what you want to take care of.
Oh.
Look for Arizona to take a defensive lineman. That's just the way of the world right now. You're losing J.J. Watt. You've got some other things happening out there. You need to stop people because you're playing San Francisco, the Rams, and Seattle twice. That's 6 games. You better be strong defensively. I think they go defensive linemen.
Okay.
Or they the funny thing is, guys, the top 5 teams in the draft may all be looking to back down. That's the funny part.
And
That could be happening.
I got something for you, Peter. What if the Arizona Cardinals don't have a first-round pick because of all these allegations washed? I don't think they go away between now and 2 weeks from now. And the allegations against what they did with Steve Keim and the burner phones, and he was suspended because of a gross DUI and all that. I mean, this could Roger Goodell, if he wants to sweep the porch and get it clean before the end of the real offseason. You think so? No,
the NFL takes their time on these situations. You'll hear about this. They will sweep it under the rug. They don't want any bad attention or no bad press when it comes to their baby, the NFL draft, especially in prime time. At number 4, I think the Colts are either going to take Richardson or Levis. Do we agree on that, Leo?
I agree on a quarterback. Again, it all depends what happens at 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Just think if somebody takes one of them and C.J. Stroud is sitting there just waiting for Indianapolis. I think you're going to see quarterback. Somebody at 2 will take quarterback, not 3, but somebody at 4.
All right, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Is it Richardson or is it Levis, in your opinion?
It's Lamar Jackson. I told you that's the story I want to see written.
Wow.
I want to see him go to Indianapolis. I want to see the Baltimore Ravens pay for it, for getting him at number 32 and MVP and not treating him better, not running a better offense. The Colts have learned you got to protect the quarterback. They've got Quentin Nelson. They've got an offensive line. Wouldn't it just be the cat's meow, Leo, if that was a story going into 2023? As Deshaun's taken off in Cleveland, and we know how bad we don't want that story to end good. You got Lamar Jackson in Indianapolis possibly taking all the heat off of that AFC East or AFC North and putting it in the AFC South. I don't know. It's just
what's funny, guys? When you look at this, Lamar Jackson, he's going to have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to get the big-time money, the ridiculous $45, $50 million a year. He's not going to get that. He's got to decide, am I going to play for 25 or 30? Or am I going to sit? Yeah. That's a big decision.
Well, that's a big decision. He could definitely sit. I guess you got the cops there behind you, Ray, coming to get you. I know. We're running out of time. I got to ask you this one final question, and then we'll get you out of here on this. Jalen Carter, it's been reported now that he lied to authorities about the whole drag racing thing, that he hit it. On top of it, the pro day was awful. He was out of shape. I mean, these are red flags. You've been a scout before. I know we talk about Warren Sapp and you make those comparisons, but teams, they kind of are some of those teams taking him off that draft board because of all these red flags that are coming out, or are we making too much about this?
No, the red flags, again, I go back to the Eagles, Mike Mamula. The only thing Mike Mamula did was bench press 26 times.
Yeah.
They took him in the first round, the biggest bust in the NFL. I think, Peter, right now, the NFL, who's ever going to draft this kid, they got to get the whole story because they can't afford to draft him and then come out and find out that, oh, he was doing 110 too, just crazy. So, yeah, these are some big red flags that may come out. And again, if I'm an agent and my guy's in the top 15, he's not doing a pro day. He's not doing Indianapolis. You got film, make your decision. That's what I like about Levens. This is saying, hey, I don't need to play any more games. You got film on me.
Hey, it's a great point. Leo Haggerty, go ahead and promote yourself here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Well, Amped Up Sports will be covering the Frozen Four the next 3 days.
Very nice.
Quinnipiac plays Minnesota, and Michigan plays Boston U. And I saw the Boston U players come out and thought it was a basketball team. Big kids. So we'll be there. And Peter, maybe we can sneak you in Saturday. You and Ray.
Yeah, that would be great, my friend. Definitely great.
Leo, what was it Amped Up Sports covered last weekend? I just saw the post there the day before yesterday. What was the event that we were at last week there with Amped Up Sports? It was over USF something, right?
The beach volleyball at the University.
Oh, the beach volleyball. Yes, the university. Yeah, fantastic coverage, man. I mean, I love that. That's what we love about Amped Up Sports is we're getting that local coverage. And why everybody's looking at the big shiny things over here, we're like, no, there's great sport all over the place. Just stay tuned, and we got it covered for you.
Good stuff there.
Guys, it's been a pleasure, but the left-hander's ready to come in.
All right.
See you next week.
There you go, my friend. Leo Haggerty, the legend. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution.
Hey, Pete.
Yes, I know you got to run here. Give me some thoughts here. Okay, you're not about to run?
Well, I got a minute, but the left-hander coming in, is that a masturbation reference? I don't get it. What am I missing?
Okay. That is a pitching reference, and now for that, you put the show in the gutter. Go ahead and give me your final thoughts because I want to get out of here on something positive instead of from the gutter. Go ahead, Tampa Bay Ray.
Just wrap it back around. It was great tonight. Thanks for having me, brother. But to the Rays, they're not, there's been the pitching clock, all this, the shift, the Rays have adjusted. They've got it. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder a bit, but it's baseball. It's a marathon, not a sprint. They got 162 to play. They're only 6 in, but so far they're perfect. So, and I wanted to make sure I tell everyone they got a 13-game homestand now against the A's starting on Friday. You got those $10 tickets to get in Tropicana Field. And Pete, you and I, wait till you come over, brother. They've got the entire, I call it the outfield street. Instead of it being below the outfield bleachers, it's right there. You can walk all the way from behind home plate out around the outfield. You can stop anywhere and it's just like over there at the Spectrum Field or whatever, Bright House Field there with the Phillies in Clearwater. You can stop anywhere. There's a big bar out there in center field. It's a place to be. So your Rays are home for the next 13 games. Come out and enjoy them. And I think you guys are going to find out that, you know what? It's pretty fun going out to Tropicana Field. It's a great time, and your Rays are doing pretty well.
Absolutely. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution, my friend. All right. We'll see you soon.
Brother. Talk
All
to
right.
you.
Good stuff there. All right. Open phone lines. It's just you and me until Mark Mancini and Ralph Williams get on here. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web live here on I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and of course the Hub. And of course, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Let's go out to these comments. Troy says first. All right, Troy, thanks a lot.
Flawless victory.
Let's go out to Sit and Go Rays. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Hey, guys, don't forget the Lightning are gearing up for the playoffs. Absolutely. They clinched a playoff spot. Last check, they were playing the New York Rangers tonight, losing 3-1. Haven't checked on that score, so we'll get you an update on that in a little bit. Sitton says, go Bucks. Absolutely, go Bucks.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Let's go out to Troy here. We pray for you to find a home, Ray.
This guy sucks.
Troy, again, you also don't know how to set your camera on horizontal, Leo, and you work for the media. Laugh my
Shut
Ben says, good evening, everyone. What's going on, Ben?
yeah.
Let's go out to Troy. Ray is drunk, already dropping equipment.
This guy sucks.
Boy, you're starting off early tonight there, Troy. Good stuff. Where is Roger Shue? He is here in the building. Christopher Cole says this hockey game is intense. Lightning down 4-3 going into the third. So keep me updated, Christopher Cole. Thanks a lot for the comments.
yeah.
KR says, evening, guys. What's up, KR? How you doing? The Rays playing some solid ball? Absolutely. 6-0. Tremendous start. But again, as we always say here on the Sports Web and in anything in life, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So we'll see how this team finishes. A long season ago, but 150-something games to go, so it's going to be a great season, especially if this team is playing like that. And that was my biggest point of contention with talking about the Rays, right? If they could score 4 to 5 runs a game and get the pitching, they were going to win a lot of games. I think the biggest shocker is how many runs they're scoring. 44-13. 44 runs, only allowing 13. Can this pitching staff continue to do this? If they get back at Tyler Glass now, I mean, that's going to only improve it, right? Can they continue to do this? That's what I'm asking. What do you think about the Rays tonight? Because you guys have been real quiet. You know, it's a happy hump day. The phone lines are open, and you guys don't seem to care. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We knew they had the pitching. We knew also they had the defense at the end of the day. Could they get the hitting? Rayleigh, raking. Say that 3 times. You had Josh Lowe last night. You had Arozarena today. You had Wander Franco. Can they continue to get those contributions, and can they stay healthy? So far, so good. Absolutely, KR. Good stuff there. Good comment.
Yeah.
Yasina, thanks a lot for tuning in. I think that's stars. Thanks a lot for sending them. I believe that's right. Christopher Cole says, I'm subbing for Roger Shue tonight. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate
How about
you.
them Bucks, baby?
Let's go out to Christopher again. You can't win a division in the first month, but you can lose it. Absolutely good comment.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Carl. How about them Rays? How about those Rays? People are like, you never talk about the Tampa Bay Rays on the show, and then I talk about them, and you know the phone lines stay to crickets. So we're going to talk about the Rays throughout the season. We're going to try to give you the best coverage we can. We're also going to talk about your Tampa Bay Lightning because we have been neglecting those teams. I get it, Bucs-oriented show, talk about football the majority of the time, but there are 2 other good teams, 2 other great teams in this community named the Rays and, of course, the Lightning. So absolutely, Carl, great comment as always. Would love to have Jones. Okay, let's talk wrestling, please. Harry, you will get your wrestling talk when we go to 10:20, okay? All right, I know you want to talk about WrestleMania 39. I got questions for you guys out there. Not only what do you think about the Rays, what do you think about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers making a shrewd move to get Neil from Seattle? Top safety, Pro Football Focus. Pretty good. Also flexible, can play multiple positions. What do you think of that move? And then what did you think of the decision to keep the belts on, well, you know who.
Acknowledge me.
Roman Reigns, which is coming up to 1,000 days now as a champion. Yes, we talk about wrestling on this show, WWE, and of course, AEW. And of course, a big-time merger between Endeavor buying part of WWE for $21 billion.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
So if you don't think that professional wrestling is relevant, tell UFC and Endeavor that's true. 21 billion reasons why it is relevant. Good job by Vince McMahon, although Vince McMahon being a part of the company and creative, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it. So we'll definitely talk about that. Roger Shue, thanks a lot for joining the party. Better late than never, Leonard Floyd, rumored to the Bears on a 3-year deal going back to the Chicago Bears as he played with the Rams the last couple years there. So congratulations. And that's true.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go on to Christopher. Okay, Roger, it's so hard. I hand it over to him. Thank you, Christopher. Richardson not going in the top 15. I will bet anybody on this show right now a plate of wings if you don't think Richardson is going top 10. You think I'm joking? You want to take that bet? That's how sure I am that Richardson is going top 10. Teams are desperate for quarterbacks. He's got all the measurables. I get it. There's a boom or bust to him where the accuracy is not necessarily there, but the potential is too much for a team to pass up. So place your bets. I'm talking to you, Harry the Greek. I'm talking to you, Leo Haggerty. I'm talking to all you fans out there. Place your bets. Anthony Richardson is going top 10. And I will bet you a plate of wings or a steak dinner on it. And everybody's like, well, he's from the University of Florida. You're a Florida State fan. You're not supposed to talk like that. Doesn't matter. He's got some talent. And he's got way too much potential for some teams out there to not take a shot on him. And even if the teams in the top 10 are not going to take him, there's going to be teams out of the top 10 that will be calling. Arizona Cardinals come to mind. You know, the scenario there would be if he is still on the board, right at 9 for the Chicago Bears. We know the Bears are not taking him, but would they take a phone call to trade down for another team out there that's desperate for a quarterback? You bet. They would. And man, I would win my steak dinner or my plate of wings from Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire at 1252 Chicago Sports. And of course, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. That's how sure I am of it. I don't think he gets past number 7 at the Raiders, but who knows what the Raiders are doing? Who knows what the Las Vegas Raiders are ever doing in that organization? Who knows?
Shut up!
You got Jimmy Garoppolo there. They just signed Brian Hoyer, another veteran who knows Josh McDaniel's system, but you got to eventually get a young quarterback. You would think that you would have to address that position at the end of the day. You would think that the Colts at number 4 would be interested. It certainly seems like the Atlanta Falcons are not interested because they're going with Desmond Ridder, the greatness of Desmond Ridder, young quarterback, 2-2 last year, so they're not interested. But there are other teams out there who are desperate, and the potential is too much. He's not getting out of the top 10. Roger, you want to bet me? Feel free to do it. You will lose. Christopher Cole says here, Roger again, hit the damn like button. It's free. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Troy here. Read the comments, bro. Pay for the comments with the YouTube chats. How about that? Let me do my damn show. Let me worry about the comments. You sit back, put your seatbelt on, and do what you need to do, which is what you always do here. Troll.
This guy sucks.
Let's go out to Ralph. Lamar Jackson needs to do a Le'Veon Bell. I don't know about that, Ralph. We'll see how that works out. That didn't necessarily work out for Le'Veon Bell after he decided to hold out. Although he got paid by the Jets, he was never the same player again. Troy says, bro, I hate USF. They're not from South Florida. They're not even from South Tampa. They are from Ghetto on Fowler.
This guy sucks.
You know, Troy, I'm just going to continue to talk about USF all night long now that you said that. And then why are you here, Troy? Troy is here because he is a nuisance. Troy is here because he didn't get enough attention when he was a kid.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
So I give people here the platform to have that attention. I give you the opportunity to text in. I give you the opportunity to call in if you want to, and you should. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. If you can't get in on that number, the other one is 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. KR says, I don't see Richardson falling to the Bucs at 19. I wouldn't do it at all. He's a project. He is a project. He is not getting out of that top 10. Who wants to take that bet? Call in. I'm serious. We'll do a thing on the sports web. If you bet me on Anthony Richardson, okay, and he falls out of the top 10, I will buy you dinner. I will buy you dinner. I'll keep you company. We can bet on this. But if you lose the bet, you have to call my show. You have to tell me how great I am. And you have to buy me dinner of my choice. You ready to take that bet? Let's do it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go on to Roger Shue. FTR wins the tag team titles tonight. Speaking of, let's go and talk to the tribal troll.
Acknowledge me.
That's
Mr.
right. Acknowledge me.
All right, so let's acknowledge it in here. What do you want to talk about? Welcome to the Evolution, Mr. Roger Shue.
I want my wings medium, and you will get me ranch and celery.
Okay, so you are betting on this. This is a bet right now.
100%.
So so the bet is
the
bet is here, Roger, that Anthony
20
Richardson.
wings.
Okay, 20 wings. I'll do 10. How about we do 10? You know
I
what?
would do 5.
We'll do-
I'm going to take your food.
Okay, you're going to take my food. So we'll do, I'll tell you what, we will do 20 wings. We'll do 20 wings. We'll make it worthwhile.
We'll split it. We'll go 10 and 10.
Okay, 20 wings that Anthony Richardson falls out of the top 10. You ready to do that?
Absolutely.
Now,
yes,
if you lose
100.
this bet, Roger Shue, you call my show and we have to show this that you're buying me wings on camera. You realize this, right?
Better yet, I will give you the wings on camera live.
Okay. Sounds good. That is a bet. What else do you want to talk about, my friend?
What do you think about Leonard Floyd going back to the Bears?
It's a good move.
I saw it's a rumored 3-year deal.
They need pass rushers. I think he's seen his best days necessarily. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong. You have the money, right?
Yeah,
so why not
absolutely.
go with Leonard Floyd? He knows Chicago. He's been there before. He can get after the passer, I think, not necessarily what he used to be. It's a good move. It's a good veteran move. I still think they're going to need pass rushers to go into the draft.
Even if you get a year or two out of him, take it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get him on a good deal. He's not going to cost you a fortune.
Well, that's it. It's it. And that's what I'm saying at this point. And, he's not going to cost you any draft picks. He's not going to cost you big time money. The Bears have the money. I mean, the rumor is, what would you Bears do? Well, let's say Anthony Richardson is still on the board at number 9. You're not taking him. I would win the bet. You're taking that phone call, right? Or are you taking Jalen Carter?
I would take Jalen Carter all day long.
With all those red flags, with all the things we talked about. Okay, you're comfortable with that?
I know it's all about the comparison. Look at the comparisons to him and Warren Sapp. Sapp was a douche. This kid looks like he could become one. He could just need to be guided and steered in the right direction.
Okay.
Oh, so Troy just put in the chat room. Oh, wow, we're talking about 2 fake sports on this channel tonight. WWE wrestling and boring-ass baseball. Well, should I show his comment or should I leave it hidden?
Go ahead. I don't care.
I think I'll hide it.
No, don't hide it. Don't hide it. We don't like to hide comments here. We're not about censorship. Troy, say whatever you want to. You can troll all night long if you want to, and I can troll you back.
By the way, just to the chat.
Yeah.
How come I'm the only one that has hit the thumbs up button in the chat?
I don't. You know I'm right. That is Troy. You sure that's Troy? You know I'm right. You sure? I don't think that's Troy, man. That's somebody else.
See.
Yeah, that's not Troy. That's not Troy. That's I'm right. I'm right. I appreciate it. I don't know who you are, but thanks a lot for tuning in. Yes, we're talking about fake sports. I don't think they're fake.
Troy. I think that's one of Troy's other names.
I don't know. Who knows at this point? I'm not trolling. Glad I triggered you. Well, you didn't trigger me at all. I mean, you triggered Roger, but you never triggered me. But yeah, we talk about wrestling on this show because we have Turnbuckle Talk with the guys coming in here, and we had WrestleMania 39, and you had a big-time purchase by WWE with Endeavor. What do you think about that move by Endeavor and WWE? $21 billion.
I think it's brilliant on Vince McMahon's part. Endeavor owns 51% of the company. Triple H is going to be gone by the end of the year.
Oh, God.
He's the new fall guy.
Mm-hmm.
Vince is back in complete control of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see on the Raw after Mania, that you can see his booking all over it.
Okay.
Basically, I feel Triple H's promo Monday night was his goodbye to WWE.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's I think you've been listening to
He
somebody
was
else.
introduced as WWE Hall of Famer, not the chief content coordinator.
Yeah, you're looking too much into that, my friend. You're looking too much. That would be
Nope.
such a mistake by Vince McMahon doing
Vince
something
doesn't
along those
care.
lines.
Vince is about Vince.
Well, Vince.
That's why he sold it, so he doesn't leave any of it to his Hunter, to Stephanie, to his grandchildren. He doesn't care.
Well, we'll get more into that in just a little bit. The overall product for me on Monday night was disappointing, and especially
it was horrible.
Especially the ending there where Brock Lesnar takes out Cody Rhodes, which
I love that.
Makes
that
no
was great.
sense.
I love seeing Cody
why do
get
you
beat
like
down.
Why do you like that?
Because now he's going to have to struggle and overcome more to build up his story to where he finally does get to the world title.
Okay. All right, so that's a fair point. I still don't like the decision to not put the title on Cody, but we'll talk more about that with the guys.
What did he do to deserve the world title?
It's a storyline. The storyline.
He won the Royal Rumble.
Okay,
that was it.
Okay,
no struggle, no struggle to get to where he was. He came in at number 30, was in ring 15 minutes. You're main eventing WrestleMania.
Well, they could have done a better job of booking. That's definitely sure of that. But all the storytelling and then all the stuff about Dusty Rhodes never doing it. I mean, they could do it in New York.
That was all crap. It should have been about Cody, not about his dad, not about anything else.
Well, I definitely think it should have been somewhat about his father.
But
That's
like
a
Hunter said,
powerful storyline.
You have to just watch how the story ends. You don't go to a movie and go halfway through, oh, I'm not going to like the ending of the movie.
Well, you think that Triple H won't even be a
ends.
part of this organization by year's end.
I don't think he's going to be.
Okay. All right.
But Vince is back in charge, unfortunately.
All right.
The ratings are going to plummet. Watch, mark my words.
All right, Roger, what else?
And I'm sure Mancini and Ralph are going to agree with me.
Well, Mancini's already emailed me and told me that he told me so that he thought it would be a bigger name. I think it would be disappointing if it was The Rock, a part-timer. I love The Rock. He's absolutely over. But what benefit do you get with The Rock taking the belt off of Roman Reigns? Nothing. So
AEW made their big announcement tonight. They're on August 27th. They are going to London, England.
Okay.
And they're doing a show in Wembley Stadium.
Wow. Congratulations to AEW.
Yeah.
Good stuff for them. That's good. That's good news for them. Although now it's going to be even it's going to be it's definitely going to be a tough competition to compete with UFC and WWE together at the end of the day.
Well, they're not together. They're under a parent company. UFC will be run separately from WWE.
Yeah, but they're still gonna somehow incorporate UFC. It's a smart thing to do. I still think it's gonna happen. If they're intelligent, they will promote it. And then on top of it, you have ESPN that's involved in that. You also have Fox. It makes too much sense at the end of the day.
The WWE deals are this. The Peacock deal ends in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still going to get to watch all your pay-per-views for the $4.99 a month on Peacock for the next 3 years. NBC, Universal, and USA's deals are up in 2 years.
Right.
So basically for the next 2 to 3 years, nothing is going to change on TV as far as the networks and the pay-per-views and all of that. All that's remaining the same.
Still a lot of money, a lot of publicity at the end of the day. It's a good thing for both entities.
What do you think of Vince's little mustache?
I think it looks horrible. It's a horrible
He looks like Salvador Dali.
He does. He looks like I'm trying to think of the director. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going there with that. I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody drew it on.
I did too when I first heard it. I thought somebody did like a Photoshop, but yeah, it's legit.
Well, there you go. Unfortunately, yep. Absolutely. All right. So good stuff, Roger. Let me go ahead and give you the acknowledgement.
Acknowledge me.
Thank you, sir. I will talk to you in the morning.
All right.
And I'll continue watching the show. Great show.
Thank you, sir. The bet is on here. Anthony Richardson goes top 10.
Acknowledge my wings.
Yeah, you're acknowledge my wings, buddy. See you later. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. As we are here in I Love St. Pete. Any comments in here? We're looking right now. I don't see any. That's the bet. If you want to take this bet, let me know. Call in. Anthony Richardson, I say, goes top 10, possibly top 5. We'll bet wings. We'll do it live here on the Sports Web. Okay, let's go back out to the comments. We're a couple minutes away from turnbuckle talk as we're waiting for Mark Mancini, the madman himself. Let's see. Roger likes his wings uncooked. That's actually pretty funny, actually. So let's see here. Final looks like the Rangers beat the Lightning tonight. See the final score, 6-3 Rangers over the Tampa Bay Lightning. You got to get me a ranch also. Okay, that's a bet. Hungry Howie's makes the best wings. Hungry Howie's is good. Don't you dare say anything bad about Hungry Howie's.
This guy sucks.
Don't start that crap. Let's go out to Troy. Troy's laughing. Christopher Cole, 6-3 now. Thanks a lot for the update. Wow on that bet. KR, I know you're not taking that bet because you agree that Anthony Richardson and the potential is too much for somebody to pass up. There are so many quarterback needy teams out there. There's no way they're going to pass up on it. I'll take that bet all day long. I would bet money on it. Like, I would bet you like $100. I would bet somebody $100 that Richardson goes in the top 10. I would. Evan Bush says he's top 10, top 5 for sure. Good comment, Evan.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you there. One comment there on LinkedIn Live. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Peter, go check your POF notifications.
This guy sucks.
KR says if he is in the top 10, some team is on drugs for Richardson. But, KR, I get what you're saying, but he's 6'4", he's 230, he ran a 4.43 in that 40 at the combine and get it to underwear Olympics. You have a pro day, can make every throw. He's not accurate, but there's a lot of potential there, right? And there's teams that are thinking differently. And they're thinking, you know what? If we can improve his footwork, if we can improve this and that, he could be top quarterback of the league eventually. I don't think this year, but maybe in the next couple years, possibly. So we'll see how that all works out. I agree with you, though. But to be fair, you look at Josh Allen, once again, 56 completion percentage, Richardson 54. I mean, those are where the parallels are at with these two quarterbacks. Nobody thought that. I thought Josh Allen was a better quarterback at the time than Baker Mayfield. I would have taken him number 1 if I were the Browns. I would have. I liked his measurables better. I liked the completion percentage. Even though the completion percentage wasn't high, he had potential, in my opinion. So there may be teams out there thinking the same thing when it comes to Anthony Richardson. I'm right. While we were talking about two fake sports on this channel tonight, WWE wrestling and boring-ass baseball. Come on now.
This guy sucks.
I'd rather take Nolan Smith at 19. That's certainly possible if he's on the board. KR says, or best player available at 19. Just make it a smart move, Mr. Light. I'm right. I'm not trolling. Glad I triggered you. No, you, Roger. Troy says, no, that's not me, bro. Roger is tweaking. Not. Laugh out loud. He is tweaking. Wait a minute. That may be Troy. Hope it's not Troy. Just 10 days until OTA start. Good stuff there, Christopher.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go on to Troy here. Go to sleep. Roger Ball said your sales are low. Once again, you don't work with us. I'm right, Roger. I hate to break this to you, but wrestling is fake. So are movies, and you still watch them at the end of the day. Some people would say superhero movies. Why do I watch them? Because I know the good guys are always going to win. Not all the time. You still watch them, though. They are still scripted masterpieces, right? According to some people, maybe not everybody. Martin Scorsese sends his regards of superhero movies not necessarily being the best thing to watch, but they're entertaining. You still watch them. They're fake. They're scripted. What's the point? Oh, wrestling is fake. Wrestling. So is movies. So are TV shows. Come on. Let's see here. KR says Raw was awful. Cody should have been champion. Shaking my head. Vince had all his hands on Monday and maybe night 2 of WrestleMania. Night 2 of WrestleMania was complete garbage, in my opinion. And if Vince booked night 2, you could definitely see it. Night 1, like night and day, right? Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens winning the undisputed tag team champions from the Usos. That was the right thing to do. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, what a great match. Even Omos and Brock Lesnar was somewhat entertaining. John Cena versus Austin Theory should have been a lot longer match, I thought. And we'll get into this with the guys in just a moment here. We'll open up the phone lines again if you want to talk about WrestleMania 39. Night 2, complete garbage.
This guy sucks.
Watching the movie, watching wrestling, what's the difference? There is no difference. It is scripted. It is a storyline. It is entertainment. It is sports entertainment. Christopher Cole, Troy, be like that. I'm only here to troll. You know I'm right. Troy can be useful at times. Troy, again, Peter, go update your POF status. Always post new pics. I mean, why are you even worried about my PO? I don't even have a PO. What are you talking about?
Shut up!
Peter, you're going to rock that Vince mustache. Signs point to no.
How about no?
Let's go out to, you know I'm right. I used to hate Troy, but now I'm used to him. Let's go on to Troy. No hate here, just love. You guys are the same. I think it is the same guy. Just seen the movie Black Adam. That movie was hot garbage. A lot of people didn't necessarily like it. I'm not one of them. I like that movie, so you get this.
This guy sucks.
KR, very garbage on Raw for sure. I'm like, this is what I waste my time with. KR again. Night 1 was clearly better than Night 2. Troy, Dominic Mysterio will beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. That's nonsense.
Shut up!
He had a feud with Bad Bunny the other night, and then I'm trying to think. I can't even think of the guy's name. I got to get if Stone Cold Steve Austin was a real athlete, I would love him. I don't know what you mean. Christopher O'Reilly, maybe you already addressed it, but Patriots trying to trade Mac Jones. Would you rather have Baker or Mac? I mean, you'd rather have Baker at this point because you're not giving up you're not giving up anything. You're not giving up draft capital. You know, how much do you have to give up for Mac Jones? The potential is there. I get what you're saying. And it's been rumored. I just don't see it happening. I don't see Jason Light giving up draft capital for Jones when you have Baker Mayfield. So to answer your question, rather have Baker Mayfield because he's under contract right now. That's not to say it's necessarily going to work out at the end of the day. Good stuff there, Christopher. And let me go out to Cole. Did you just compare wrestling to boobies? Oh, movies. Well, I suppose it works for both. All right. And movies, not boobies. Good job, Cole.
Oh, yeah!
Roger, let's hold off on the comment here. We'll have you call back in a moment. I'm going to take a quick break. Let me read this comment, and then we'll get out to the guys here. Ben says, I'm okay with Cody not getting the title now. Build him up more. Getting a feud with Brock is now a good start to that road back to redemption, in my opinion. Let me take a quick break here for uwager.lv. Definitely, if you're betting on sports in general, whether it's the NBA or other sports in general, like the NHL, go to uwager.lv and put in my promo code SportsWeb. Here is uwager on the evolution of sports talk television. Keep it locked.
uwager.lv, sportsbook and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SportsWeb. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
There you go. You can't win if you don't play. uwager.lv. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Let me read these comments from the guys in the peanut gallery, if you will, on the back end here. Ralph says, too many mock drafts have Richardson in the top 10. book it, my friend. If you want to take that bet, you're going to be buying me wings. Mark Mancini says 161,000 thought it was a joke as well. That listener was crazy. You're exactly right. Great comment of the night there. 161,000 Triple H and WWE. You outdid yourself. Out there in SoFi Stadium. Night 2 sucked. I went to night 1, says Mancini. Mark, again, UFC buying big money now with Vince. Acknowledge Pittsburgh and Roman Reigns. And Ralph says night 2 did suck. With that being said, let's get on the guys. The madman himself, former XPW announcer, Mancini Media, XM Sirius Radio, Mr. Mark Mancini. Welcome to the Evolution. And, of course, this man right here who had some family tragedy. We talked about it, losing his nephew. God bless him. Thank you for being on with us now, Mr. Bodyguard of the Berg, Mr. Ralph Williams.
Thank you.
First, I want to come out to you and just ask you, how you doing, my friend?
I'm hanging in there, Peter. Thank you for asking. We had the funeral last night for my nephew. He died last Friday. He did battle for a month, and I admire his fight. And he's up with the Lord, and the Lord's taking care of him. So that's good.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate the time. We appreciate the update. God bless you and your whole family. Once again, we're sorry about what happened. And again, the condolences for the sports web are out to your family. With that being said, let's talk about WrestleMania 39. Mark, you just told me you went to night 1. I mean, give me that experience. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports.
Well, it's always a pleasure to the show that's ripping Wednesdays, and my prayers and thoughts are to Ralph. And it's not a distant memory. If you send something up to the Lord every day and acknowledge your cousin, He's looking down and making you proud. So that's the way I look at it. Yeah, I went to night 1, carried that heavyweight belt out there in the parking lot with some people, and recognized some fans and from the XPW days. And man, oh man, night 1 was unbelievable. And, when I walked out of there, I said to myself, I just witnessed history. And somebody said, well, you might witness it tomorrow. And I said, no, I've witnessed history tonight, and you're not going to witness it tomorrow. The Usos lost the belts, which I figured they would. And nobody's taken it from Reigns yet. And I knew what's-his-name wasn't the right guy to pull it from him quite yet.
And why do you say that, Mark? Because you've been a part of the XPW. We talked about booking matches. You have the perfect storyline there. You have Cody Rhodes, who's coming off an injury from Seth Rollins. He wins the Royal Rumble. It's anticipated that he's going to win it. He's kissing his family. He has John Huber's son there, of course, who we work with at AEW, who passed away just a couple years ago. Amanda Huber, who's a part of AEW, is there, kissing everybody, giving belts away. Perfect moment. And then you have Solo Sequoia with the spike there, the Samoan spike. Interference, and to me, I get it. Roman as a heel, it kind of takes the luster off because he built up this storyline. People are saying, well, he didn't have to fight back from anything. He won Royal Rumble. You came off an injury. It's a perfect storyline. Why not Cody Rhodes at the end of the day, Mark?
Well, I think everything aligned. Things align in threes. I mean, Sheamus has never had the Intercontinental belt. We thought maybe he would get it, and unfortunately, it didn't come up. Gunther got it. So, that didn't go out Sheamus's way. And everybody kind of thought maybe Sheamus would grab the belt that's eluded him. But, that didn't happen. And then, we see where the UFC is in cahoots with WWE and making it, a $21.4 billion business moving forward.
Amazing.
Yeah,
we'll get to that in a moment.
And, when you put that much money on the table, you don't want to pull Roman Reigns off the table. That's, approaching 1,000 days, 946 days. So to give it to Cody Rhodes, I always thought it wasn't going to be a guy like that, middle of the pack type of guy. You need a big name, somebody like a Rock that would, if he was, a full-time wrestler, would be the guy. CM Punk, if he was coming back in. I just didn't see it. And like I said, when you have things running threes, Sheamus not winning, this UFC buying in, they weren't going to give it to Rhodes to take it. I'll tell you the big swerve, and I'll get into it, is with Lesnar. But I'd love to hear, your comments on that whole thing with Reigns and with Ralph too.
Yeah, Ralph, I mean, I got to ask you, were you surprised by that result the other night? I mean, it was anticipated with the long reign of Roman Reigns that he was going to lose the title. And then once again, he retains. And I think the crowd was shocked by it. They were booing. I understand trying to build a storyline and long-term storytelling, but at the end of the day, has this storyline ran its course, or what will they do for an encore? Because I feel like if you don't give it to Cody, then it's definitely a storyline you missed.
Absolutely. I thought it was a fraud because I'm going to tell you what. I had the Bloodline and the Judgment Day both going down after this, okay? But it's still time for that to happen. It's just I had them going down after WrestleMania because I thought the Usos were going to lose, which of course they did. And then I thought Roman Reigns was going to lose because it was all this talk about how he's going to Hollywood and he wants to spend more time with his family. And then it was this, well, now he's going to take a sabbatical, and then he's going to come back for SummerSlam, and he's going to fight The Rock. And it was all this and all that going on. Well, now you see what happened. The real fact of the matter is he's still the champ. And the thing I'm really surprised about, Peter and Mark, is the fact that, okay, they had Solo Sikoa cheat at WrestleMania. Usually when at WrestleMania, it's usually one-on-one. It's usually 2-on-2 or whatever it is.
Sure.
There's none of this cheating. There's none of this stuff because they want it to be a spectacularly good show. I thought that was the wrong way they did it with that match, having them do it like that. And now we know why. Vince McMahon's back.
Well, and that's it. And that's what it comes back to. And Vince McMahon is in control. And, after roughly 70 years of being in control, the McMahon family, WWE, was sold to Endeavor Group Holdings on Monday. WWE and UFC, which is owned by Endeavor, are merging to form a $21 billion global sports entertainment company. UFC was valued at $12.1 billion. WWE as a valuation of 9.3. Vince had this to say: together we will be a 21+ billion live sports and entertainment powerhouse with the collective fan base of more than 1 billion people. An exciting growth opportunity. The new company will be well positioned to maximize the value of our combined media rights, enhance sponsorship, monetization, develop new forms of content, pursue other strategic mergers and acquisitions for further to bolster our strong stable of brands. Mark, what do you think of this? To me, it makes lots of sense. UFC is an entity. You have WWE as an entity. Instead of competing against each other, come together, have promotion, promote fights, make all this money. I get it. People think it's going to be separate. I do not think it's going to be separate. And I feel like if they are separate, then you're really not taking advantage of the deal in the first place.
Well, and not only that, I remember, in the year 2007, when I was out of the wrestling for a little bit, as XPW kind of went their way, and, Rob Black and ECW, the WWE came in. UFC was trying to build something where they were going to try to have, people in the state of California, broadcast the fights and everything. And they auditioned quite a few people, and we were part of that mix in that thing, but it just kind of dissolved with the whole collapse of the banks and everything back then in 2007, 2008. And now what you see going on with these guys, conglomerates now, I think now everybody's going to want to be a part of this thing. And whether it's people think it's fixed or not, and this and that, and nobody watches wrestling and nobody cares about the UFC. Yeah, what I see is they will pay big money to get into these events. That was my first WrestleMania. I've been to quite a few SummerSlams, and let me tell you, I can't wait to see what next year's WrestleMania 40 is going to be in the city of brotherly love.
Absolutely. Hold off on that comment. Let's go out to the phone lines. You're on Turnbuckle Talk on the Sports Web. Mr. David, welcome. You're on with yours truly, along with the madman himself, former XPW announcer Mark Mancini, and, of course, Pittsburgh's forgotten son, Ralph Williams. What do you have to say about WrestleMania 39? Welcome. David, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, David, go ahead. David, are you there?
I'm here. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? What do you think about WrestleMania 39? Welcome to the Sports Web.
How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
I didn't watch WrestleMania because I don't really watch WWE anymore.
Really?
I do catch it and I know what's going on, but I got to tell you, the thing that I'm excited about the most for the WWE right now is that Vince McMahon is back in control of creative.
And why do you say that?
You know, I gotta say, I'm an AEW fan. I've been an AEW fan ever since, you know, they started, and Vince just makes the product worse. So I'm fine with that. You know, I think Vince makes it boring. So, you know, it kind of helps AEW out a little bit.
Is he onto something here, Mark? I mean, Vince makes the product.
Well, first of all, I'm trying to catch his first remark when he says he can usually see what's going down. That's why he doesn't watch. You can't sit here and tell me that you knew what was going to go down with Brock Lesnar on Monday night, because nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, but that's you go ahead, David.
No, nobody really cares about Brock Lesnar anymore. I mean, really?
I mean, I tend to agree with Dave. I tend to agree with David. Nobody does care about Brock Lesnar, and I don't understand it at all. It makes no sense. I get it. Brock Lesnar is not a face. He's always been a heel. He's always been a beast. You've got this. You made the major deal with USC, so you want to have a beast, but you already had that in Roman Reigns. What's the point of having Brock turn on Cody besides having matches against each other? And I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying it. I don't care about Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is a part-timer to me now.
Yes, exactly. Brock Lesnar is there for a payday, and that's it. And you really can't say that about, you know, other people necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, you give that opportunity to somebody else if you're going to do that. I mean, Austin Theory. I mean, seriously, if you want to put him up there, you put him against John Cena. Why not have him go against Cody? Give him an opportunity. And once again, you know that Vince is running creative, Ralph, because he is putting Brock Lesnar versus Cody.
Real quick,
yes,
that Gomez Adams Vince mustache. What's going on with that?
I have no idea. You know, he kind of looks like a director, and you have to look this up. I believe his name is John Waters. He's a direct. That's who he looks like also.
Exactly.
You need to Google that, because that's what Vince looks like. I don't understand the mustache. I don't understand him coming back with all the allegations and all the payouts of money. It's just embarrassing. He was strictly supposed to come back for business purposes when it came to selling the company, and now it is the worst nightmare. And I agree with David. I think it is good for AEW to a certain degree with Vince running creative, because I think Triple H was knocking it out of the park. What else, David?
Exactly. You know, I just got to say that I think that AEW is kind of in, you know, a little rut right now, but I feel like with this Blackpool Combat Club turning heel, I think that's going to bring a whole new dimension to, you know, lots of different matchups they can put against some guys.
I agree. And he also had Switchblade Jay White come out tonight. He was rumored to be going to WWE. Not happening. He is all elite, my friend. What do you think about that move? And then we got to let you go.
Yes, I love it. I think he's going to be good. I think he's something, you know, that a lot of people like me who don't watch necessarily every single promotion wants to see.
All right, good stuff, David. Thanks a lot for the call. Keep on watching, my friend. You can text in. You can also call back if you want to, if you have something to say. Thanks a lot for the combat.
Switchblade Jay White's been in AEW for like months. Now all of a sudden he's back and he's all elite again.
Well, no, he was actually in Impact, which is different. I mean, right. I mean, he's made appearances, but now it's official. Ralph was surprised by that, because there was a lot of reports out there saying that White was going to go to WWE, that they were interested, that he was going to be their big free agent pickup. And lo and behold, he ends up in AEW tonight. Big win for them, right?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you this too. David's right about a couple things. First of all, this is going to benefit AEW, because as of right now, there are wrestlers packing their bags with WWE and getting out because of Vince McMahon coming back to creative. They went out. And now that's the morale's back to being down to where it once was when he left. So guess what? We're back to the old WWE of old, where the product was boring. But I've said this many times, no matter how bad the WWE's product is, people will buy their souvenirs and people will attend the matches and they will watch the pay-per-views.
Yeah, they will. And I to David's point, it's a great point. I think a lot of AEW are excited about that, because Vince is in control of creative. Where Triple H, where he's a part of creative, the show is a lot better. It's a lot crisper.
Right.
You see, more storytelling and stuff like that, not some of the nonsense that you saw on Monday night.
Well,
absolutely.
That,
and
guys,
you knew Vince was back when you saw the Brock Lesnar thing, because I didn't expect Brock Lesnar to come back. I thought he was going to make his appearance like he always does.
Sure.
All of a sudden, he shows up on Monday Night Raw and he's teaming up with Cody. Since when does Brock Lesnar ever team up with anybody?
Well,
he hasn't teamed up with anybody since 2007 or 5 or something.
Actually, has not wrestled a match on Raw since 2002. You cannot make this up. When he was actually his rookie year, he barely ever comes out there, so it just didn't make any sense. All right, Mark, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, not only that, for the people that bash it, I was with the wrestling for quite a few years, as the ring announcer. But, for everyone that bashes and said it's this and that and that and this, do you realize now they're coming into a town and they're laying the bricks down, more or less on a Thursday with the wrestling con, at convention centers and meet and greets, and then SmackDown comes in. You get the NXT before WrestleMania 1, before night 2, and then Raw comes in there. I mean, they're drawing pretty much people flying in and out of this place. This is going to be over 200,000 fans coming to this thing. It's probably taken out most Super Bowls, believe it or not, guys.
No, I mean, it really has, and it's become a worldwide event with them going to Puerto Rico there, Bad Bunny involved on Monday night. Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, Bad Bunny, even Triple H said at the press conference, he is too good to just be an entertainer. I mean, he's a good wrestler, and anytime he wants to get in the ring, and you kind of knew it, right? You kind of knew that they were going to involve him in Puerto Rico with them doing Backlash there. So what do you expect? Rey Mysterio with Bad Bunny, it looks like that's going to be a tag team versus Dominic Mysterio. It's a stupid gimmick and everything else. And then I'm trying to think of the other guy that continues to escape me from the Judgment Day. He attacked Damian Priest attacked him the other night, put him into the table. Bad Bunny did a great job of taking the bump there. These celebrities, say whatever you want to, make all the fun you want to about, WWE getting these celebrities. But Bad Bunny has wrestled his ass off. Logan Paul has wrestled his ass off. And Triple H is completely right. These guys are too good for their own good, too good to be celebrities at the end of the day. You got to involve them coming through here and going forward. What do you think, Mark?
Well, not only that, and I'll make it quick and give it over to Ralph. Night 1 just blew the roof off the place. I mean, just starting it out with Cena in Theory, and then just the Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and then the ambulance, the correction officers coming in with Dominic Mysterio. I mean, if that didn't blow it off, then Seth Rollins, he had Luke Paul and Logan Paul there, and Luke, and I'm getting excited because I'm thinking Logan Paul coming up. I'm thinking of Owen Hart coming in Kansas City off that top.
Yeah, and then you have KSI coming out in a prime model.
And then you got George Kittle not coming out in a San Francisco 49er. And then to top it off with Miz and Snoop Dogg with the Usos. I mean, I knew night 2 was going to be probably just the Reigns and Rhodes match, but man, night 1 just blew the damn roof off the joint.
It really did. And you talk about those celebrities at the end of the day. What a spot there, Ralph, with KSI. It looks like Logan is going to do the frog splash on the table, pushes KSI. God. Logan comes in, he got the phone in his hand. I mean, talk about that match for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it was hilarious. But I'm a big Seth Rollins fan. I rooted for him throughout the match. Logan Paul, I do agree with Seth a little bit. He is kind of a part-timer. But you know what, though? Logan Paul does know how to wrestle. Bad Bunny does know how to wrestle. They're both good wrestlers. And, they're always entertaining. I thought that was funny. I knew something was up when they come out with that mascot. Somebody was behind her of substance. Had to be.
Yeah, right.
Because it wasn't fooling me, at least. Because when I seen it come out, I said, I bet you 2 to 1 there's somebody behind there of substance. Somebody that either knows Logan Paul or maybe Seth Rollins has him disguised there or something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't understand the whole Shane McMahon coming out and doing his dance.
Oh,
Well, I will tell you this, guys. I was shocked because Bray Wyatt was in town driving around Hollywood, but he wasn't part of it. I thought maybe Randy Orton would make an appearance.
Bobby Lashley wasn't a part of it. He came out with this trophy. You mean to tell me you put out Shane to come out there and do a match, which, by the way, guys, he tore his quad like his father.
Yeah.
Remember this in Royal Rumble history where I believe it's Batista and John Cena, and Vince comes out in the ring. He's upset. He tears, I believe, both quads at the time. He's on the ground. It's the funniest thing. Nobody knows what's going on, but he's tore his quad and he's still going with the storyline. Shane does the same thing, tears his quad, and then Snoop knocks Miz out, does probably one of the funniest, people's elbows you've ever seen. He should have been a little bit faster than that.
Well, Mysterio coming out with the lowrider car. I mean, it was like, well, where was LA Knight? Where was Karrion Kross? Where was Scarlett?
Where was your woman Scarlett and Karrion?
Yeah, I don't understand this.
You couldn't find a match for LA Knight. You're in LA, for God's sake.
Let me tell you. They can say whatever they want about, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. That match blew out Asuka and Bianca Belair 10 times over.
Agree. And I didn't expect that. I didn't think the Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair.
Oh, my gosh.
That was a great match. And I tell you right now, Rhea Ripley deserved it. She's like a Grand Slam champion, winning NXT. I mean, various belts. She's tremendous, and she's definitely evolved, if you will, over time. We're on with the madman himself, former XPW announcer, Mr. Mark Mancini. Of course, Ralph Williams, the Pittsburgh's forgotten son, the way I see it. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here live on the sports web. But, yeah, I don't understand why you couldn't find a place for Bobby Lashley. I don't understand why you couldn't find a place for Bray Wyatt. There's been a lot of talk with either mental problems or injury or something. He's such a great character. They got to figure this out. They either got to go back to the Fiend or they got to do something different. But, guys, I've been disappointed ever since he's came back. I think they dropped the ball on that. You have LA Knight. You have, again, Karrion Kross. Where is this talent? That's what I think is probably disappointing. You have all this filler, all these other matches. I'd rather see those guys at the end of the day.
Absolutely. It's terrible. What's been going on with this? It's bad. I mean, bad planning on this part. Carmelo Hayes wasn't supposed to beat Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker was supposed to lose, and he was going to come up to the main. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Carmelo Hayes was supposed to lose, and come up to the main brand to join the Hurt Business. That was supposed to happen. That didn't go on.
I got to read some of these comments here. I don't think Vince is going to save it. Good stuff there, Jason. I agree with you on that. Nee says, Peter Blake, thank you very much. Appreciate you tuning in. And guys, I want a kiss from Peter. Well, yeah, make dreams come true. Appreciate the confidence. Appreciate.
Oh my.
There. Thank you. I'm going to blush.
I'll tell you, Peter, that, I just want to let you know the crossover from this show into the Pittsburgh show is just amazing.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely amazing. Love it at the end of the day. Any other thoughts on WrestleMania 39 here? We talked about the after show. I thought Monday night show was very disappointing at the end of the day. No big time surprises besides Brock Lesnar. I mean, anything else, guys, that you wanted to point out, Mark, first?
Well, I still look good at 61 years old wearing that belt outside SoFi Stadium.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's a good thing, my friend.
But you're absolutely right. That thing in there was a tourist trap. I just, saw people buying the $30 beers and the $40 T-shirts and everything. Oh my God, is that $65 to park? Yeah, it's a money-making thing, and for people who don't understand it, well, everybody wants to be there. And it's a once-a-year event, and you got to experience it.
Ralph, out to you. Final thoughts on WrestleMania 39. It really outdid itself this year, right?
Yeah, it did. It did. Night one was, like Mark said, was good. I was surprised Gunther won his title back. I thought they would give it to Sheamus. Just some disappointments, the Roman Reigns match, but other than that, it was a good WrestleMania.
I think it was a good WrestleMania. I was just still disappointed by that night, the night 2. You give it to Cody. Everything is there. It's all laid out. But we'll see, because Triple H said at the presser, the story has not ended. It's just begun. So we shall see what's
Well, I will tell you this, guys. I look for McIntyre and I look for the Street Profits to go heel. I'm going to call my shot on that. I think that's coming through the thing.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen too soon, Mark. His contract's was up at the end of this month. So McIntyre's moving on.
Really? Well, no. His contract is up, but we'll see if he re-signs. I think the best thing at the end of the day is for him to re-sign, because he is still one of their top guys. But you never know; they may go to AEW. He may be in that conversation.
Well, that's where Omos has to go. What a lousy match! Oh my God! How do they?
Well, it was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But Omos, I don't understand it. Nigerian giant or whatever. I mean. He's just a big guy. He needs to work, but they worked hard in that match. Brock Lesnar, Omos, I give him credit. It was somewhat entertaining. It wasn't a long match. You didn't expect it to be a long match. So good booking by Triple H or whoever.
Yeah, but then to have him come back against Pittsburgh's other son, Elias, there on Monday night was just a joke.
I don't know what they're doing.
Elias.
It's not somewhat of a gimmick, and they were pushing him, and now he's just basically a jobber at this juncture.
Exactly.
Jobber at this juncture. Say that 3 times. You're on the Sports Web, The Evolution. CM Punk has reportedly had some recent contact with AEW officials. A new report from Fightful Select notes that Punk and AEW president Tony Khan have spoken or had a couple of meetings. It remains to be seen what, if anything, came of these talks. Of course, he was suspended due to the AEW All Out incident back in September. He was supposed to be healthy by the end of January. There's talks from that. We have talked about that ad nauseum. I will bet you guys a plate of wings that CM Punk is back in AEW. You taking my bet, Madman?
I'm definitely on your side of the coin on that one. Yeah, no doubt about it. Hook, line, and sinker, I'm with you.
Okay. All right. Now, Ralph, I know you've been against this, but Punk was considering potential legal action over the all-out incident, but there's been no talk of legal action in the few months now. Sources with knowledge of this feel like it's been productive progression. And I feel like their storyline is there. It's laid out. MJF is the champion. You bring Punk back. You have real heat. If Kenny Omega and the group there is still a part of it, you can do that also. I mean, Ralph, CM Punk back in AEW. You going to bet me wings on that?
No, I think he'll be back. Okay. I think he'll be back in AEW, and I also believe that, they'll find something for him. And, by the way, I want to let everyone know today is MJF Day today.
Oh, right.
And he was given the key to the city of Long Island.
Wow. Did he throw the key back in the other guy's face because he is such a great heel, but he is in so much character? I still don't know how he didn't face like suspension for throwing like alcoholic beverage at a child. Like, I understand you're in your gimmick. But that's and again, they gave the kid free stuff. He met his favorite wrestler, which, by the way, was not MJF. It was Powerhouse Hobbs. So even more motivation for MJF of being a heel there. And I get it. He's the best heel out there besides a Roman Reigns. But yeah, I mean, I guess, they're going to go with that. So we'll see how
well,
that.
Not only that, yeah, that's a good. In switching gears over, man, isn't Corey Graves getting better? Not because he's a Pittsburgh's guy. But I just love
not because he's a Pittsburgh guy, because you love those Pittsburgh guys.
Yeah, but Corey, come on, Corey Graves is doing.
Corey Graves used to get on my nerves. Now he's like,
he's getting.
Up.
I mean, he's really.
Yeah.
Is he right up there with Jerry Lawler yet? Is he right up there?
Yeah, sort of.
And
yes.
I don't know. That's tall. That's a tall order to go against those guys.
Oh my gosh! But Peter, man, it's stuff he says is.
I'm gonna give you 3 names here, guys. Okay. You got Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Booker T. Are you putting in there?
No. These are color comment. I'm not gonna go with Booker T because I don't think he's on that level yet. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Okay. Jerry the King Lawler, and your Pittsburgh guy Mark Madden. I think he was terrible. with WCW. He said some.
Oh, Mark Madden was horrible.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
Bobby the Brain
Yeah.
Heenan or the King? In your opinion, I think Bobby. I love Bobby.
Bobby the Brain.
Bobby's down. Bobby the Brain.
Bobby's
Bobby the Brain.
Yeah.
And Peter, I do agree with you because Mark Madden's not one of my friends either. So yeah.
Well, that's okay. He's not a lot of people's friends.
But let me tell you guys, Corey Graves and Wade Barrett, man, they're really picking up steam here.
I like Wade Barrett.
I got some bad news.
Yeah, I got some bad news.
I don't know how they got that other guy, and he keeps escaping me. The guy.
Oh, I can't stand that. I wanted to talk to a foreign accent on Monday Night Raw. Oh.
And Nigel, by the way, is all elite. He was with WWE and NXT. Now he is all elite.
Yeah, Nigel McGuinness
Peter,
is
you
back.
can move
Yes.
the sports web in with Corey Graves and do a hell of a better job and set the bar than that clown they got on with Corey Graves.
I'll take it. I will take it, my friend. If you're my agent and you're selling that, let's do it. All right.
No, Mark, he can't be a commentator. He's a referee. There's a referee that looks like him. Have you ever seen him? He looks just like Peter. I always say there's Peter Blake.
I'm getting excited with Stacy Keebler there.
Oh, listen, she looks good. Now, guys, is she a Hall of Famer in your opinion? I mean, she did a lot for seriously, is she a Hall of Famer in your opinion?
Ralph, you can go first.
I don't know. Yes, I guess she is. I don't know.
The NBA. Everybody makes the Hall of Fame, right? I mean, she had contributions. She started out as a great.
The Brooklyn Brawler made the Hall of Fame. And Mark don't like the Brooklyn Brawler.
Andy Kaufman made the Hall of Fame. He deserves
I know.
Well, I think Stacy Keebler, it looks for definitely a Hall of Famer. I mean, but I think that what every year they got to put 5 in there. So yeah, they're going through quite a few guys, and I mean, look at what it gets.
Elite class in your opinion, because I'm looking at it. Great Muta, okay. Rey Mysterio,
definitely Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
definitely. With all the there were so many Rey Mysterio shirts there with that Hall of Fame. Just amazing what he's accomplished. He might be right up there with, I believe he's from Pittsburgh too, Mil Moscaris. No, Bruner Samson. No, he's not. Mil Moscaris was the other one with the mask. He would be up there.
Right.
I don't know if he's up there with Mil Moscaris.
Mil Moscaris, yeah.
But he's accomplished a lot, guys.
Yeah, I agree. No,
yes,
I absolutely
he has.
agree with that. All right, Andrade El Adolo, I believe I'm pronouncing his name.
It's Andrade El Diablo.
Okay, well, we'll just call him Andrade. He appeared in the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony over the weekend, of course, married to Charlotte Flair. He also had this to say on Lucha Libre Online. He is still under contract with AEW, was only accompanying his wife to the event. He says, I'm with AEW to make it clear. Soon, my contract will expire. I have a tear in my chest. I got surgery in November. I was out for 4 months, but soon I'll be back. I was at the Hall of Fame accompanying my wife and to be the next to my great friend, Rey Mysterio. He's the symbol for all the Latinos, Rey Mysterio, according to WrestlingNews.com. But we know Triple H and his propensity to bring back guys that didn't necessarily work out that got cut. Could we see him back there on the strength of not only is he a good wrestler, AEW hasn't really done anything with him, but he's Charlotte Flair's husband. It makes sense, right?
Well, it most probably makes sense not to bring him back. And the other guy and it escaped me. You guys can probably help me out. I got a brain fart on this one. He used to give the roses out, and he's part of that tag team. I'm surprised he didn't get a hell of a push.
Roses out.
The way he used to give the roses to all the girls.
Oh, you mean he's in the tag team with
he's in the tag
Carrillo.
Yeah.
He's with Carrillo, and I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name, but I'm surprised that they haven't pushed him because he was, a suave type of guy, kind of like a Val Venus type of guy. They pushed him, but a better looking guy that I thought was going to get a push, and he kind of died out in that tag team with Carrillo.
He's with Carrillo.
Well, who was the guy who used to run the Rosebuds? What was his?
Oh gosh, what was his name?
Val Venus.
No, that was
no. Oh gosh,
what was his name?
When we'll remember it? when we're laying in bed 3 hours from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta Google it. All right. Sad news here. We'll end it like this. WWE Hall of Famer and legendary tag team wrestler Bushwhacker Butch, whose real name is Bob Miller, has died at the age of 78. His longtime tag team partner Luke announced his death at TMZ Sports on Monday. Luke said that Butch had a brief illness and was hospitalized in the ICU on Friday after arriving in LA for WrestleMania 39 at SoFi Stadium. Luke said that Butch's hospitalization was caused by situation and medication. He flew in from New Zealand on Wednesday, was all good. Friday morning, he was incognito. Of course, the Bushwhackers rose to prominence during the run in WWE from WWF from 88 to 96. What years? And of course, they went into the Hall of Fame in 2015. Luke penned a tribute to Butch on Monday per TMZ Sports. Late last night, I lost my friend, brother, and tag team partner of over 50 years with the passing of Bob Butch Miller from the early 1970s when we were young mates wrestling for John Del Silva in New Zealand. And my first impression of Bob, the Chest Miller, as he was called in those days, was that he was a first-class redneck. What a bloody redneck he was, but he was also an all-around good guy, a great friend. If you were to read this story of my life, it would say that I'm an only child, but it would be wrong. In life, I had my brother. His name was Bob Miller. I love you, Bob. Until I see you again. Woo, yeah. I guess I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago watching those guys and doing this.
I'll tell you a funny story. Survivor Series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper put a team together, and it was Roddy Piper, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and the Bushwhackers.
Yeah.
I remember that one. That was funny.
And, you know, guys, back then the tag teams were unbelievable. I mean, Demolition, Heart Foundation, Bushwhackers, Rougeaus, the Mounties.
The Road Warriors.
The Road War. I mean, you just keep going on and on. I think it lacks today because I think what Vince has done is pushed a few tag teams. We've seen a lot of tag teams just become stagnant. And I think
there's non-existent tag teams when Vince is running creative. When Triple H is running creative, then it's completely different.
Right. And the reason why I think Owens and Zayn, they've been with the organization for so long.
Right.
They're lifelong friends. And so, you know, give it to them. But like I'm telling you, the Street Profits are either going to go heel or Montez Ford needs to move on.
Well, Montez Ford, I think, is going to move on. And I think the reason why is they're going to go heel. They're going to break them up. Montez Ford is a future superstar as a singles wrestler. I think the Street Profits have done everything at this point. I understand why they put him against the tag team champions. Now they couldn't win it. Now you make some type of storyline out of that where you can't get over. And I think eventually they separate, and Montez Ford has a great opportunity to become a superstar, much like his wife, Bianca Belair. Ralph, go ahead and promote yourself here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I'm on YouTube. I have several shows on there. Please subscribe. I'm at number 94. I need 6 more to make 100. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once again, thanks for all the prayers and support for the death of my nephew. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hang in there, my friend. The bodyguard of the Berg. Once again, all of our prayers from the Sports Web are out.
He's gonna be at the Pirate Opener on Friday, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Baby. Raise that Jolly Roger.
All right. See you later, Ralph. Thanks a lot.
Unless I get a free ticket.
There you go. Get that man a free ticket right there. Good stuff there, Ralph. Mark, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution.
XM 203, Sirius 217, WWDB AM 860, Liberty Bell Smack out of Philadelphia, the Pittsburgh Pirate Podcast. Now I'm doing the San Francisco Giant one.
Wow.
So I'm blessed. And
Moving up, my friend. Moving
Wednesdays,
up.
yeah, I know. I don't know what they get to do when those two teams play each other, but maybe I'll just stay incognito for a while when they play each other 6 times this year. But always on Wednesdays with you, baby, the show that's sweeping Hump Day.
Yes, sir. Hump Day. It is here on the Sports Web, the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the madman himself, former XPW announcer. Thanks a lot for your time here on.
I love you, baby. I love you, man. I can't wait till next Wednesday.
Love you, brother. Woo! There you go, right there. Mr. Mark Mancini, the madman himself, XM Sirius Radio. Thanks to all the guests tonight on this Happy Hump Day edition. Of course, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay, talking about, of course, the Tampa Bay Rays. Leo Haggerty, the legend himself. Mark Mancini, Ralph Williams. Guys, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Like I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and, of course, The Hub. And do 3 things for me on this Wednesday night extravaganza. Turnbuckle talk, Rays baseball, Lightning lose, but that's okay. They're in the playoffs. 3 things. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And Bucs fans and fans of the Sports Web, and of course, Rays fans, it's your time. See you soon.
uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.